There we go. So welcome to another episode of Hello Tribe Builder. Super excited to have a wonderful lady on the call today. We have the brilliant Heather Waring. Hi.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. Did you notice there I didn't introduce your title?
Yes, absolutely.
So we've just had a bit of a chat about kind of titles and stuff. So do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Okay. The kind of quickest, most concise way to explain what I do at the moment is that I take women on transformational walking experiences. Now, those can be as short as a couple of hours or as long as 5 or 6 days, and everything in between. But it's about more than just that. Because, transformation, it's movement from one place to another in your head, in your life, and in your business and what you do. But I use walking as a vehicle to deliver coaching, to deliver mentoring, also to deliver self-care. And, my kind of range of what I offer goes from very small, very kind of reasonably priced, even on the cheap end of things, which I make no apologies for, right up to quite high-end coaching, walking on places like the Camino de Compostela, Santiago de Compostela. So a real range of things, but the theme, the thread that runs through it all is walking and the power of being out on that path. And also, I would say the health and well-being. Why do I do what I do? Because of health and well-being. Because if we don't have health, what the hell do we have?
Yeah, absolutely. That was a lovely intro. I couldn't have described that in the way that you did. So I'm glad we made that call. So we've known each other for a little while, haven't we? We're kind of both in the speaking world. So tell me, what was the decision that you made? What was the thinking behind joining Tribe Builder?
Well, I think I kind of joined Tribe Builder thinking it was something else at the beginning. Now, having said that, I am absolutely delighted with what was delivered and couldn't have wished for better. Funny enough, I was sitting in the departure lounge at Heathrow Airport about ready to fly to Cuba. Yay! And I was saying to my husband, who you know very well, I meant to sign up for Julie's Tribe Builder. And he said, well, do it. So I sent you a message and we kind of did it. And what I wanted at the time, knowing you and knowing the phenomenal tribe that you have, I kind of thought initially it was going to be all about how you built that kind of your 6,000, I think, list, plus all your social media and everything, how you did that and how I could do that. Because although I've been coaching since 2000 and running my own business since 2000, it's gone through various evolutions. And the Women Walking, Women Talking is a relatively new, it's been going since sort of end of 2015. So I'm still trying to build my tribe around that. So I thought initially it was going to be more that actually, how do you build a tribe? Of course, when you look at building a tribe, you need to know who your audience is. So of course, one of the first things that you talked to us about was actually who your audience is. And then, although I'd done that numerous times before, I don't think you could ever do that too often. And I kind of thought, I can see where this is going. So, that was why initially, but actually it's developed into something much more. And I have signed up again because I have loved what I've done, but there's so much more that I want to do.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think probably I have some word, maybe it's the word tribe and the word tribe builder, is that we think it's a numbers game. We think it's about how can I get people onto my list? How can I build my social media? And there is an element of that. And Tribe Builder does do some of that. But you're absolutely right. It's much more about almost the psychology behind it and the bigger picture of how you attract and repel people towards both you, but also your products and services and the things that you're offering out to the world.
Indeed. And, if you don't know who you want to attract, and if you don't know how you want to attract them, and if you don't know, I've heard you talk about this and I talk about this a lot. If you don't know who you really are, how can you ever build that tribe that is going to be successful for you and is going to serve you and that you can serve in return? Because it's a bit of a win-win, really, you know. So yeah, I think all that is really key. And if I'd thought about it more deeply, I would have realized that I still would have joined, but you know, yeah.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I have really kind of strong views on the way the business world is at the moment. And there are plenty of coaches offering, you know, build your list, get to 7 figures, you know, all of this stuff, which is about following a system, like there's only one way of doing it. Mm-hmm. And what I really wanted to get through Tribe Builder was this sense of we're all on our own paths, but that doesn't mean we can't follow processes and learn stuff along the way. And actually one of the things that I've found as an entrepreneur is I always create things that I need. So I created Too Fat to Run because I needed that. I felt alone and I felt like I didn't belong. Mm-hmm. I've done the same with my life coaching programs. I've created the things that I needed 3 or 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And with Tribe Builder, it's the same. I feel lonely in business. I feel like it's hard to find people that you can trust. It's hard to find people that will be generous with their time. So I can remember a few years ago feeling like the support is out there, but only if I've got money in the bank to pay for it. And so that my core value is fairness. Yeah. And I feel like it's incredibly unfair that particularly as women, we're only allowed access to that support and advice if we've got an abundance of cash in the bank at any one time. And that is where the business model and the price point and all of that has come in for me.
Mm. And I think you're so right there, because actually, if you think about it too, you know, we've got people in Tribe Builder. I'm one of the people who, you know, has had business for much longer. And even though it's a different evolution, I kind of know some of what to do and I've seen it work. And we've got people in Tribe Builder at the moment and who are moving forward, who are just at the very beginning. Now, of course, you don't have the money at that point, but that's when you really need that support. You need that guidance. Yeah. And I think that's one of the magic things that if I think back to all of us as a group as we started and where we are now and where the people who are at the very beginning are now. So one of the members, for instance, on the call the other day was talking about how when she had launched something in the program, she wasn't ready for it. She didn't know what to do. And this time she wanted to be more kind of prepared. But as I said to her, but at least you've done it once now. So you've got that kind of bit out of the way. You've learned. And so the next time, you know, so I totally am with you there. You really need that support at that early stage and people you can trust as well. So plenty of people out there wanted to just take your money and run. They don't care when you sign up whether you do anything with the program or not.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. So what did you find the most challenging aspect of Tribe Builder for you and your business?
I think it's been some of the techie stuff. I'm not a particular techie person. Some of that might be age or some of that might be a cop-out. But I think with me, once I know what to do, once I've practiced it a few times, I can do it. Mm. My website needs a few changes made to it. It's a bit clunky in places, and I'm kind of getting that happening at the moment. But when we were preparing some stuff, I couldn't do everything I wanted to do, and the deadline for certain things was getting closer, and I started going into absolute meltdown. I mean, I was really panicking because I wanted this so much and I couldn't make it happen. So I think for me, that was one of the main things. And I tend to, this is my fault, but I tend to be a bit of a last minute person. So like suddenly I want to put up a new page and I want it up now. And so I'm sort of trying to get my VA, who of course works for other people as well and doesn't have an hour or two to give to me on that day that I want it. So yeah, I'm kind of learning a lot about that. But you know, when you're faced with those challenges and when it gets really scary, that's actually when often you break through and you realize, yeah, actually I can find a way to do this. So I think, yeah, that was the most challenging and probably will continue to be so going forward. But that's okay. Yeah.
And so you have decided to stay for the next round. What are your intentions for this next round? And how are they different from the first round?
Okay, so when I joined in the first place, I wanted to build my tribe. I still want to build my tribe. However, one of the things I'm most proud of, there are two things. One is the action I took. Now, I don't know whether for you, I seem to be taking lots of action, but for me, I got two things out there, one of which I've been thinking about for ages. And it's actually, it's running now. And the second thing was going online with a program. And the feedback I'm getting from that at the moment from the ladies, we're coming to the end of that, is phenomenal. And I'm so excited, and I really have to thank you for it, because you kind of, just because of the framework of what you asked us to do, trying not to give too much away, I stepped up to that and I did it and I got it out there, and I'm really seeing the benefits, and yes, the benefit to me, but the benefit to the people. And I'm very like you. It's really important to me that I deliver what my clients want and that they get something from it. So that has really made me realize that there's so much more from the online perspective that I can do. So I want to run that program again. I want to take it maybe to the next step. I want to look at other slightly longer, bigger online programs. Because so much of what I do is actually in person, out walking with people, which I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
But that is the higher end stuff, because they get me. And I want to be able to reach a much bigger audience, because the benefits that people get mentally and physically from walking are huge. And you don't have to walk 10 miles. You can walk for 10 minutes and get a benefit. So, I want to grow it further.
Yeah.
Further, yeah. And I'm very excited about the next cohort. Yeah.
Cool. So we obviously are going to be attracting new people into the tribe. Mm-hmm. What are you hoping for with that new group of people?
The people we've had so far have been wonderful. I mean, I know, like in any group, you get a core. And I don't think you can ever stop that. There are people who kind of sit behind the scenes and still get a lot out of it, but we never know because they're not putting themselves forward. And then you get the core, and then you get people who maybe for one reason or another kind of haven't really got into it. We've had lovely open-minded people, I think, generally, and I would hope for more of that, because it's so much easier to share and to grow and to learn when people are open and just, okay, I'm open to what comes along. So I want more of that. I want, again, sharing like we've had. For me, there's been no feeling of, this is mine, I'm going to keep this. It's been very open. And I think actually it was Breda who said yesterday, and I totally concur with her, a real mix of people at different levels. Because for those of us who have been in there a little bit longer, you still want to learn from those perhaps who are ahead of you, who will help to pull you up further, like you do for us.
Yeah.
But also for me, it's really important to give to other people when I can. So yeah, just a nice mix of like-minded, open, friendly, sharing people.
Yeah, and that diversity in terms of people's backgrounds, but also where they're at in business, I think that's the magic of Tribe Builder, because I've been in masterminds where everyone's at the same level and the coach attracts people at that level and positions it at that level for a reason, and there are benefits to that. But actually the diversity of having people that are brand new to business, or, and even if they're brand new to business, they're not brand new to the thing they're doing. So they may have a 20-year career in that thing, and they're now going alone and taking it in a slightly different way. So there is value in every single member, regardless of which way they're coming into the program.
Exactly. And the one thing actually I didn't say was people from a whole mix of different businesses, because that's what's been lovely, having the coaches, having the artists, having, people who are kind of into adventure travel and health and wellness, and just a whole mix, because we all learn. And you get, the lovely thing too is, of course, you can get so entrenched in your client base and who you're trying to serve And it does really good when you put an idea out there to hear not only from people who say maybe are coaches like me, but also to hear from somebody who might not have come across this kind of thing before. He's going, oh, okay. Ooh, I don't understand what that means.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I like that, because then you look back and you think, okay, because we can get really tied into thinking, of course, we come from a certain place. I remember the first time I ever did an online course. And when I looked back on it afterwards, I thought, oh my God, you must have totally overwhelmed those people. Because we know our stuff, we want to give so much value. And what we actually then tend to do is we give far too much, which doesn't seem too much to us. But to anybody trying to get to grips with it, they're going, whoa, 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 hold on. And actually, you have said that to me a couple of times about, hey, hold on, Heather, that's complete over-delivering.
Don't give away it all. Stop.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Exactly. And, I did listen to you about that when I did this online program. Yeah. And the feedback I'm getting is people are loving the amount of information they're getting and being able to work with it. So I think I've got that right. But, I've ended up doing a video a week as opposed to a video a day, which is what I was initially going to do. Yeah.
And the thing is, we are, because we love what we do and because we're so involved in it, we think that the people in our immediate tribe are literally sitting there waiting for that video to come through. And of course, they've got their own lives and they're also part of multiple tribes. I mean, that is part of it. So you just need to carve out your little bit of it and add your little bit of value, but not expect, as I said, that people are sitting there waiting to absorb and process your stuff.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm going to ask this question in a slightly different way to some of the other interviews, because it feels like a question to stroke my ego. But I've been asking the question, what kind of coach am I in terms of being able to attract people? But I'm going to ask you a slightly different question because you know me really well. What kind of coach, how do I want to ask this? Okay, so bearing in mind the kind of coach I am,
right?
What kind of people would probably not like working with me?
Okay, I think people who are rather sensitive and take everything rather personally may not, because you are very straight talking. You're very energetic. So you're kind of, I'm going to say in your face, but I don't mean that in a bad way.
Aggressive way.
Yeah, I really don't mean that in an aggressive way. One of the reasons I wanted to work with you is because you're real. You tell it as it is. You haven't got a whole set of airs and graces. And that's what I like about people. What you see is what you get. Now, I'm a different personality from you, but I like to think that what you see is what you get with me as well. But I don't want somebody who will tell me it's wonderful when actually it's not wonderful. Mm. And, you get that in the speaking world sometimes, when you do a showcase and people are busy saying, oh, that was brilliant, that was brilliant. Now, we want to know the bits that are brilliant. So it's the same with working with you in this. We want to know the things that are good, but we also want to know the things that aren't good and the things that aren't, and you don't shy away from that. Mm. So somebody who is really has got a lot of self-doubt, somebody who is very sensitive, somebody who takes everything to heart might find you a very challenging coach to work with. Yeah. So I think, anybody watching this, if you're thinking about Tribe Builder and you're thinking about working with Julie, just know that she'll be honest with you. She'll tell you as it is, and that will really help you move forward. Yeah.
I think that's really useful. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do these Tribe Builder interviews, rather than me tell the world what I think I am. My clients, the clients that have been through it, and that you guys will have different views on what's worked for you personally. And I'm hoping we're going to get 7 or 8 of these interviews out before this program deadline closes, and that we'll continue to do these so that we can build up. Part of this program is about the learning, but also some of it's about the showcasing. And using now multiple platforms to showcase the wonderful array of entrepreneurs out there that are doing really good work out there in the world. Mm-hmm. So these will sit on my YouTube platform, and hopefully other people will share them as well. Yeah. What's the one core takeaway for you?
Things do not have to be perfect. That's what I've loved, that ability to just get something out there. Too many of us are guilty of sitting on stuff and waiting till it's perfect. And a few weeks before, we were looking at putting things out there fairly regularly through the program. And a couple of weeks before I started, I had been talking about a particular program to my mastermind group, who were kind of asking me lots of questions about it. And I realized I wasn't quite there. I couldn't answer all their questions. And I said to them, I think clearly this is not ready to be launched. So I set it aside. No intentions of launching it. Now, this program had been in my head for a year or so. You gave us the opportunity to get stuff out there regularly, just to go for it without it being perfect. And so I put that program up looking for only 4 to 6 women, and I signed up 5.
Yeah.
And if I had waited for that perfection, it would never have happened.
And what's the learning? So from those 5 women, what have you learned from that process?
Oh, I mean, this is a yearly program, and we meet monthly. We've had our second meeting now, and the first meeting I ended up doing an introductory meeting, which I hadn't. I thought I'd done the introduction, and then when I thought about having the first day, I thought, actually, no, you need to bring everyone together and just sit down, set the scene, do a mini version. That went really well, and then between that and the first proper full meeting, I actually changed the format slightly, and that worked even better. So the learning for me is that I am learning as I run it. Because it's a pilot, I'm not being judged in the same way as I would if I had said, right, this is all singing, all dancing. And that's giving me, well, it's not stressing me. I'm being completely upfront with them and the fact that they're helping me shape this, but I'm always checking as well that they're getting what they need out of it. And I said to them the other day when we had our second one, I said, right, guys, I want to make sure that it's not just at the end that you can see improvement or movement. I want you to be moving on all the time through this. And, I'm away a lot walking at the moment. So, we're not able to do the whole kind of monthly thing that I planned. But I said to him, don't worry, I will make sure that you get caught up on all that. So it's not like you will lose out. We just have to be a bit flexible. And they're great. And I'm loving it, So
Doesn't it feel nice to be able to take away that veil of perfection?
Oh, God, yes.
And just go, it's some things are a little bit rough around the edges. That is life. That's the life that most of us are living. We don't have this sheen of everything being just spot on.
No. It's so refreshing. It's so liberating. And it also made me think back to when I first started as a coach. And I remember thinking that because I was helping other people as a life coach get their life together, therefore I had to have my life together. And, that was a huge pressure to put on myself. But also, when you start being vulnerable, that's when people really engage. Because if you are this icon of perfection up on top of this pillar, people look at you and you scare them because they think, I'll never be like that. Whereas when and I know you can be very vulnerable as well, when you say to people, I'm having a really shit day today, but I'm still going to do a live for you. Or, this happened. Well, I burnt out, and it was the biggest gift, greatest gift I could ever have been given. And although I was a little into identifying me with burnout for a while I was still kind of recovering, now I use the lessons that I learned. Yeah. And one of the greatest things that I can tell women is there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You can come out the other side. Honestly, I've been there and I've done it. Even when I thought I was never going to find that spark that was me again, I've done it. And look at me now. I'm a better version of who I ever have been, Yeah. So I think when you're vulnerable, they can really sense that, and they can see that you're speaking from the heart.
Yeah.
And also they can identify, So like your running stuff as well, you know, all the stuff that you did from the very beginning when you could hardly run, and how you've inspired women. Now, if you tried to be this icon of perfection, you would never have inspired those women, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, really important. So that for me, that thing that you don't have to be perfect, you can put things out there without it being perfect, you don't have to wait, has been the biggest takeaway for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I am going to share my quirks, because that's what it is. Some of us have these quirks and these things that some people would see as flaws. And one of the things that I've realized through doing this video series is I get really panicky over the numbers, not the price point, but just the saying of numbers. And so in every interview of these that I've done so far, I've tripped up at the end. And it's because I do have this problem with numbers. I get flight details wrong, I get dates wrong, I get times wrong. So I'm going to attempt to say the dates properly this time. So Tribe Builder starts on the 10th of June.
Yes.
And the early bird price, which is up at the moment, ends on the 31st of May. If you miss that deadline, it's £200 more, and there's another week to sign up. So those are all the details. I'll put all the links below. And if you've got any questions, do feel free to reach out, and it'd be great to have some comments on this video, anything that, you know, any ahas you had, or, you know, perhaps any questions that you have for Heather as well. But Heather, it's been an absolute joy having you on the program. We've known each other for a long while and never really had, you know, we have these pockets of time where we get to catch up and see what we're about, but it's been brilliant to spend some, you know, extended time with you. So thanks. You've been brilliant when I've not been available for a call to host the call. So that has been brilliant as well. So thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure, and it's nice to be able to give back too. But thank you. You know, I've so loved working with you. I've always admired and been a bit in awe of what you have achieved. So, you know, I'm loving working with you, and long may it continue, and really excited about this new cohort. And anybody watching this, get on board, because it's wonderful.
Brilliant. Thank you. Mwah, mwah,
Okay.
mwah.
To you too, Julie. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.